either. I didn't really realize, but there's a different angle to the whole quantitative easing that I haven't thought about. My battery is almost empty, so this is going to be a short video. But because most people talk about, well, international exchange rates and competitive devaluation, and of course that's all a big lie. The only reason why Bernanke is printing dollars is to keep the Wall Street banks afloat. And then people start talking about, well, maybe we'll get runaway hyperinflation in the US, and that will be horrible for all the US citizens. But and that is that's where mostly it ends. But that's not it, because the US is a bunch of states, just like Europe is a bunch of countries. And in Europe, people are constantly talking about, well, Portugal doesn't really have anything to offer, and Greece is deep into debt, and maybe the euro will split up. Well, how about the US? How about the monetary union that the US is under the dollar? Because, if you take states like Alaska that have a lot of oil, they can also sell the oil abroad against hard currencies, for which they can probably buy more than they can buy for the dollars they get out of Washington. And I don't know how these arrangements are, but I have a feeling that with the printing of money of Bernanke and basically the monetary policy that is bent on generating hyperinflation eventually, also because of all these dollars from abroad start flowing in, you'll get states that say, wait a minute, I'm no longer gonna do anything for these dollars from Washington, or I'm going to up my price. And I'm gonna make it difficult for you to loot my natural resources and just get them and distribute them and maybe even sell them abroad. What would happen if the government of US decides to print $5 trillion and buy all the oil in Alaska and sell it to China in return for nice stuff, of which then 5% goes to Alaska? I guess that's the reason why Palin is now making remarks about Bernanke, because he's now saying that printing money out of thin air is nonsense and etc. and it's not a good policy and it's a big experiment. Because in essence, the dollar is what keeps the US working and together, through the money system, the dollar system. Washington can exert its power. It can allocate funds to states, so these states can buy stuff in other states that have the stuff that they need. And there are simply states that don't have anything to offer, and other states that have a lot to offer. And the more that it becomes clear that these states are offering what they have to offer in return for nothing, in return for worthless paper that they cannot spend in the other states, but at the same time they could sell their resources abroad for much better returns. That's has to put pressure on the US. And I think that is the reason why Obama is already siding with the Pentagon more than with the Washington. And I talked about it in another video, that he basically listened to this guy he had a fight with. I forgot his name at the moment. Petraeus. Was it Petraeus? I think so. And also listened to the fact that the Pentagon people often quote Roosevelt saying that you have to have healthy people, with a good education to run a democracy. And that is clearly not the case anymore. You don't have healthy people anymore, and the dominating trend is towards ignorant people voting for people, for corrupt people for the wrong reasons. That all is not very good. So I haven't thought about this in this way before, but I think Bernanke is doing more than destroying the currency. He might be destroying the US.